Secretary, would you call the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Debbie Powell,
Here.
Frank Norwood,
Here.
Chairman Rentschler,
Here.
Bobby Reynolds,
Here.
Todd Fisher,
Here.
and Bill Mathers.
Here. All right, we need to approve the minutes from the September 26, 2022 regular meeting. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All opposed? In favor?
Aye.
Any reports from committees, members, and staff?
No.
Thank you. No old business. New business. We are here tonight for a variance request V23-1 filed by Parksdale Building Companies LLC, property located at 3820 Matthews Mint Hill Road, tax parcel 195-013-10, to request a variance to allow a reduction of the 40-foot rear yard setback to 20 foot to accommodate the construction of a home. Anyone who has any business that is going to be any testimony this evening needs to come up and be sworn in.
You can join her. Yeah.
Yep. Everybody at once. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and belief, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. All right, so you're up.
Thank you so much. Thank everybody for coming and taking this opportunity to speak today. The issue that we're running into is that we have a lot that, should be, it's a perfect lot for a home, for a family. And the issue that we're running into is there is no sewer that's available on this side of the Matthews Mint Road. There's a sewer on the other side of the road.
Turn that up a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a sewer on the other side of the road, which they're not letting us connect into. No houses on this side of the road, on the same side as the property, have access to the sewer. Every house is on septic. There's a development in the rear that's happening with 4 or 5 houses, I believe. All those houses are going to be septic as well. So there's no sewer being brought to the area. We've had an engineering firm that we've hired to do the soil testing because we were not approved for the traditional system. We had to use the panel box system. And the way the most suitable soils for the septic happen to be near, if we're looking at the property, where you see. What do you think goes to the?
Yeah, you should hit spacebar and see if you can. There you go.
So here we have the survey, and then on top of the survey, we have the septic system design overlay, and you can see how it's taking up a very big portion of the front of the property. And then if we highlight the area that's buildable, we have a 20-foot setback from the side, which would be the bottom of this page, a 40-foot setback from the right, a 20-foot setback from the other side, and we're 5 feet away from the septic line, so we're as close as we can get with our building footprint. It creates a very awkward shape that's really not suitable for anything that resembles a typical home, we would say. It would be possible to build something 20 feet wide and maybe 40 feet deep, maybe uptown. But it wouldn't really fit the area. It wouldn't be ideal for the family, and it wouldn't work for what we're trying to accomplish. So what we're asking for is this additional brown area to treat the rear side yard as a side yard with a 20-foot setback. And we think that would fit the area better as well, because that would allow us to slide the home a little bit more forward, closer to the driveway, which would be towards the upper side of the face. And that would take the home further away from the homes behind it, which you can see there's a home that kind of backs up to where we would want the new back of the house to be, and we would actually want to push our home a little bit further away from that. So then it would kind of create 2 backyards with a little bit more space between the homes. So we think, intent-wise, it would be very harmonious with the
Anybody have any questions?
So this is where he's wanting to go, right? This way.
Yeah. He's coming back this way.
Going back that way. Okay.
Yeah. On your drawing, there shows a garage in the middle of that driveway?
On this drawing.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So, yeah, you see how the drawing comes down, ideally, we would like it to come towards the garage, correct? But, the garage, there will be a second floor of the garage, it would be part of the home, so.
okay, but I'm talking about in the middle of the driveway,
Says
you got a little notation that says garage.
Yeah, so that's a shed that's pre-existing in the property, so it's identified now because it's something that's currently existing, we would get rid of it.
Be removed? Okay. That is the only question I have. Anybody else have any questions?
I don't.
Mr. Mathers?
You said that they wouldn't let you hook up to the septic across, or the sewer across the street, right? Who made that decision? Did they give you anything in writing that says that?
Writing, that's information that we got from the engineers.
Could you speak us a little bit closer to the mic? Yeah, thank you.
So that, I don't have anything in writing, we received information over the phone, speaking with the engineering department. And they basically just said it's not a viable option, it's not possible. I'm sure I could request that in writing.
Okay.
Did they perhaps say that because of elevation or something? Or you don't know?
Yeah, I'm not sure, I think they just, I'm not sure what the exact reason is, but from my understanding, they're not boring into the road, and they're not taking it across the street, they're not bringing the sewer on this other street. If we were on the other side of Matthews Mill Road, we would be able to tap right in.
Okay. But, the reason I'm asking this question is I've been in real estate 51 years, full-time, okay? And if you could get the sewer hooked up, it would make the property more valuable than a septic system. That's why I was asking.
And I absolutely agree, and we would prefer that because we're only rated for a 3-bedroom septic system. We'd love to make a 4-bedroom house.
Ooh. So you're only rated for a 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the shed you were talking about, you think?
Connect to the sewer, you're unlimited,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
ideally, we connect to the sewer, that would be our preference, 100%.
Okay.
What is the square footage of the house that you're going to be building?
I believe that's still to be finalized, but we're trying to aim around 2,000 to 2,200 square feet.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Anybody, well, that's the only testimony there is tonight. So we will now, at this point, go into our fact-finding mission and see how this goes here. Unnecessary hardships would result from the strict application of the ordinance. It shall not be necessary to demonstrate that in the absence of the variance, no reasonable use could be made to the property. Ms. Powell.
Unnecessary hardships would result from the strict application of the ordinance. I'll agree with the applicant's statement that adherence to the 40-foot rear yard setback requirement would leave insufficient space on the lot to construct a suitable dwelling for the family.
Mr. Norwood?
I'll agree, sir.
I agree. Mr. Reynolds?
I'm also going to agree with that.
Mr. Fisher?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
Mr. Mathers?
Yeah, I agree as well.
Okay. A hardship results from the conditions that are peculiar to the property, such as location, size, or topography. Hardship resulting from personal circumstances, as well as hardships resulting from conditions that are common to the neighborhood or the general public may not be a basis for granting a variance. Ms. Powell?
The hardship results from conditions that are peculiar. The hardship results because the rear portion of the lot contains soils that are inadequate for the proper functioning of a septic system, and the only suitable soils for a septic are located in the buildable area, thus leaving an irregular shaped lot that cannot accommodate a functional dwelling.
Mr. Norwood?
I agree with Debbie.
I agree with Ms. Powell. Mr. Reynolds?
I'm also going to agree with that also.
Mr. Fisher?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
Mr. Mathers?
I do as well.
The hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. The act of purchasing property with knowledge that circumstances exist that may justify granting a variance shall not be regarded as a self-created hardship. Ms. Powell?
The hardship did not result from actions taken by the applicant or the property owner. The inadequate soil hardship was not created by the applicant or the property owner.
Mr. Norwood?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
I agree with Ms. Powell. Mr. Reynolds?
I also agree.
Mr. Fisher?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
Mr. Mathers?
I agree with her as well.
The requested variance is consistent with the spirit and purpose and intent of the ordinance that public safety is secured and substantial justice is achieved. Ms. Powell?
The requested variance is consistent. No neighboring properties or individuals would be negatively impacted by the request to reduce the rear setback, and the house would not be visible from the main road as it would be obscured by existing houses in the long driveway.
Mr. Norwood?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
I agree with Ms. Powell. Mr. Reynolds?
I agree.
Mr. Fisher?
I agree with Ms. Powell.
Mr. Mathers?
I agree as well.
I will entertain a motion now.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve variance request V 23-01 filed by Parksdale Building Companies LLC for property located at 3820 Matthews Mint Hill Road, being tax parcel 195-013-10, requesting a variance from section 6.1 building lot standards and dimensional requirements, requesting to reduce the 40-foot rear yard setback to 20 feet. My motion to approve is for the following reasons. Unnecessary hardships would result from the strict application of the ordinance in that the space needed for a septic system leaves insufficient space on the lot to construct a suitable dwelling. The hardship results from conditions that are peculiar to the property in that the lot contains soils that are inadequate for the proper functioning of a septic system and the only suitable soils for a septic area in the buildable area, thus leaving an irregular shaped lot that cannot accommodate a functional dwelling. This hardship of unsuitable soil for a proper functioning septic system was not the result of the property owner, and a variance would keep with the spirit, purpose, and intent of the ordinance such that public safety is secure and substantial justice is achieved, and that the variance would be minimal in that the house would not be visible from the main road as it would be obscured by existing houses and the long driveway, and no negative impact to the surrounding neighbors.
I'll second that.
I hear a second on that. Madam Secretary, would you call for the voice vote?
Yes, sir. Debbie Powell,
Approve.
Frank Norwood,
Approve.
Chairman Rentschler,
Approve.
Bobby Reynolds,
Approve.
Todd Fisher,
Approve.
Bill Mathers.
Approve.
Approved.
All right, so variance V 23-1 filed by Parksdale Building Companies LLC, property located at 3820 Matthews Mint Hill Road, tax parcel 195-013-10 to request a variance has been approved. Any other business?
No, sir.
Anybody else?
I move we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Where's your first name?
Ron.